My name's ArtJohn and I'm an artist.
And this is my art studio, which is in a brilliant building called the Art House, which is in the centre of Wakefield.
Now, my art studio is a place where I come to play with ideas and to experiment with new ways of making things, without the fear of making mistakes or even worrying if the thing will work in the first place. And you know, that's a really important attitude for artists to have, because that open-minded thinking and that willingness to give things a go is what helps artists create artwork which is interesting and exciting and unusual.
Now, I like making all kinds of art, but my favourite type of art to make is sculpture. But the question is, what is sculpture? Well, I can show you using this piece of card. If I use my pen to cover the card in lots of overlapping triangles, we would call this a drawing because it's made up of lots of lines. It is completely flat with only one surface. We call this two-dimensional or 2D, but sculpture is not flat or two-dimensional. It has many surfaces and can be looked at from lots of different angles. It sticks out, and we call this three-dimensional or 3D. Sculpture is 3D just like we are. Sometimes sculptures are small and sometimes sculptures are huge. So let's make some, beginning with some instant tinfoil sculptures. You'll need 2 sheets of tinfoil and a white piece of paper. And then we're going to take one of those sheets of tinfoil and we're going to mould it around a part of our upper body. But here's the rule: you must not put the tinfoil anywhere near your mouth, your nose, or your eyes. That's really important. I'm going to choose my elbow. So I'm going to squeeze and press and shape it around the contours and the form of my elbow so that it takes on that shape. Add all the wrinkles and the creases, that's all detail we want to keep, and then gently remove it and place it onto your white piece of paper. Now you're going to do the same again with your second sheet of tinfoil, but this time choose a different place on your upper body. Then you can arrange and compose the 2 pieces of tinfoil on your paper to create a sculpture. And then if you have a school camera, you can take a few snaps from different angles, or if you don't have a camera, maybe you can draw it in your sketchbook. For my next technique, I'm going to show you how to take some cardboard and turn it into sculpture using a technique called cut and slot. It's a way of joining 2 pieces of card together without using any glue. You can draw and cut out shapes. Then all you need is to cut a slot in each piece of card about the same length. Then carefully slide them together so that they lock in place. Then just add some more. You can experiment with different shapes, like sharp pointy ones, soft round ones, or organic ones. Or why not use a mixture of them? Because when you put things that are very different next to each other, it tends to look really interesting and attractive to the eye, and we call this contrast. And the beauty of this technique is that it's not fixed forever. You could take your sculpture apart and reassemble it in a different way, or maybe you could collaborate with someone else and connect your sculpture to theirs. Now here is another way of making sculpture, and it involves the secret method that is inside this envelope. It's called a verb list. Now, artists will use a verb list to help them when they don't quite know where to begin. It gets them started on their creative journey. You write down a list of verbs, then you use those verbs with a material. And for our verb list, we're going to use some thin colour cards. Your challenge is to create a card sculpture that stands up by itself, and you'll use your verbs to help you create interesting shapes, or as we would call it in sculpture language, form. Form is the word that we use to describe 3D shapes, because remember, your sculpture will have height, width,
and depth. You can use loads of different verbs, but some of my favourite ones to use are cut, fold, tear, scrunch, twist, or curve. And to help your sculpture stand up, you can join your pieces of shaped card together using glue or double-sided sticky tape, or even paper clips and split pins. Right, enjoy making your sculptures and remember to let your creativity guide you to some wonderful surprises, because who knows what you'll end up making.